Primetime, that's the name.
Primetime.
Primetime.
What time is it? Showtime, primetime.
It's XL Primetime, featuring Joe C.
And then he couldn't fire his glutes later.
Matt Hayes.
His balls are different in person.
And Leon Searcy.
So they were smelling themselves.
Oh, my gosh.
With no deal.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
One day to go, people. One more day until the fate of the franchise is sealed with this brand new philosophy of this brand new regime here in Jacksonville. It's XL Primetime. I'm Matt Hayes. He's Leon Searcy. Joe C's doing a little PGA Tour work. JJ's running the show. We got a lot to get into. If you just wrapped up the two previous shows, Leon, we had the annual 1010XL media draft.
Mm-hmm. You know what this feels like? It feels like Christmas Eve. You know the gifts are under the tree. You just can't wait to unwrap them.
But you don't know what they are.
You don't. You absolutely
Not
don't
only
know
that, the gifts are under the tree.
Mm-hmm.
They got no names on them.
None. Yeah.
Then what?
I don't know. I just hope we don't unwrap no orthopedic shoes.
See, when we were young, it used to be the kids to get to bed, Santa Claus to come.
Yeah.
No names on the presents. You know why? Because there were some little kids, I'm not naming any names, may or may not have been me being one of them, would like go sneak in around 2 or 3 in the morning, like kind of open the presents and see what they are. So then my parents, sorry.
So
sorry.
You need
Santa Claus got smart.
You need a whooping. That's what you
Santa Claus got smart and then just didn't put any names on the presents. So then I have no idea what I'm open. I mean, not me. May or may not have been me.
Allegedly.
It was opening, right.
Yeah.
So are you guys on Twitter during the draft seeing the picks before they come in?
No way.
Do you like that?
No.
Okay.
God, no. Are you?
I told you I rarely, I'll watch up till the Jags draft, but I rarely lock in for the whole thing. So yeah, I enjoy seeing it on Twitter and just getting it over with.
Yeah, I don't. I like that's killjoy to me. I like the entire process.
I do too. Absolutely.
Even though it's cheesy, and even though I'm tired of ESPN the way they do it, and believe me, I'm watching NFL Network tonight, and you should too. It's so much better than ESPN. It's still so fun to watch.
Let us know if they still do the.
There it is.
On the NFL Network. I'm not sure.
You know they do. All right, listen, here's the key. And I think this is, we've all talked about this in the last month, and I think everybody in the city feels this way as well, is the whole one more day thing. It's so important because now we finally get to see what the franchise philosophy is. And it's going to be laid wide open for all to see. There's going to be no questions after this weekend, I should say. You know, how the new head coach and general manager want to rebuild this, frankly, historically failing franchise. They've dropped hints over and over since they arrived. Now it's time to see what's real and what's not. It's time to see what they think works, Leon, and what doesn't. And, you'll be able to tell by the end of the weekend, I think, where James Gladstone and where Liam Cohen see weakness in this franchise and where they see strength.
Yeah, well, clearly there's going to be a reaction and an overreaction no matter who they pick. All right, we may love some, may not love as many, or we may love them all. You know, I mean, that's just the nature of drafting picks. I mean, and the draft it's a coin flip, bro. It's a 50-50. I mean, they don't know. They don't know if this guy's going to come in and be a stellar player or he's going to be a bust.
Right.
I mean, they're drafting based on what they see. You know, they've done their evaluation, and they can only hope that the kids that they draft to come in here to play for the Jaguars pan out. That's all they can do. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of fans don't want to hear that, but that's the nature of the draft.
You hate that coin flip.
You're not going to hit on everybody.
No, but you hate that coin flip.
I know, bro, but it is. It's a coin flip on if the kid's going to be good or bad.
It reminds me of when this is years ago, like 15 years ago, when I was 20 even, and I was running down a story, and Jack Arute, the longtime broadcaster at ESPN, and someone had reported something, and he texted me about it, and he asked me what was going on. I said, I don't know that if I believe, I'm not going to say who it was, if I believe that person. And he texts back, coin flip. And you hate to be in that situation.
Jason Lock-on-Fora.
Yeah. You hate to be in that situation where, man, it's literally 50-50 whether you're going to do the right thing or whether it's going to pan out for you. Like the ladies were talking in the crossover, the last pick of the mock draft, which we'll get into, the annual 1010XL media mock draft. The last pick was James Pierce of Tennessee, who was, you want to talk about coin flip. My God. And they said, well, who would you take, Shamar Stewart or James Pierce? And I said, neither. Because I think both of them are failed coin flips.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's someone will take them. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
There's always a team, Leon, that believes. There's always a coach, a personnel guy, a general manager, an owner who believes, I don't care what happened with him in college, or if he has this, this, and this, or if he was only this productive, I think he can be this in the NFL.
Yeah, but you got to remember, as a player, and I was in this situation coming out the University of Miami. Whatever you did in college, when you get to the league, doesn't matter. Absolutely doesn't matter. You've got to recreate yourself. You got to remember, you went from the big man on campus, All-American, first team, national championship. But when you step in that locker room with those grown men, that don't mean nothing to them.
Right.
That you came from Miami, you won national championship.
Right.
You've got to reassert yourself in that locker room. Not only you've got to get the players that you're working with to believe in you, the coaching staff and the organization. They're basing their draft pick on the evaluation and the film study and the character and all the other kind of stuff. But until you get there and get it done, bro, you're still listen. I was on the bus train.
Right.
I didn't play my whole first year with the Steelers, and then when I did start my second year, I struggled the first half. So I remember the Pittsburgh Gazette saying,
you might have been the other side of that coin flip.
Bro, I was on the other side of that coin flip. I was in the Pittsburgh Gazette. It said, first round pick Searcy seems to be a bust. And I remember reading that like, goodness, what? That's when I told you about Carlton, my teammate.
The B word, man.
When Carlton Hasserig pulled me aside and said, hey, man, you ain't playing like the Searcy I knew back in Miami. You need to get yourself together or I'm going to get... That's what,
it wasn't that nice though, was it? The way he said it.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. He had a couple of Seagrams and Sevens in him too.
There was probably three or four.
A lot of cussing going on.
Or 100
yeah.
four-letter words.
He threw some hand grenades at me. But I needed that, bro.
Right.
I needed that. So I was on the other side of that coin too. Until I saved my career. After that talk with Carlton Hasserig.
Yeah. The thing is too is. And I've always believed there's no hiding from the draft, man. It's the lifeblood of NFL franchise. It's how you draft is how you run your franchise. How you hope to succeed. This is a big, big moment for James Gladstone and Liam Cohen, two young guys who were given their first opportunities. Big moment for this franchise that has tried everything else in the 3-decade history, and very little has worked. Except with the exception of, pockets here and there, nothing sustainable other than the very first guy, Tom Coughlin, who did it better than anyone. This is a big moment for this franchise, for those two young guys. We are going to see what, like I said earlier, we're going to see what they think the weaknesses are on this team by the way they draft, and we're going to see what they believe the strengths are on this team by the way they draft. And I just have a weird feeling that it's not going to jibe with what a lot of us think.
Well, I hope they stay true to their form because I do remember in the presser, Liam Cohen coming and speaking to the press, and he said this team has to be built from the inside out. Guys in the middle, and listen, I applauded him. I mean, I think I shed a tear when he said that because I've been hoping for this.
I got a little lump in my throat.
Yeah, man, because we've been hoping for the longest time. We've been guard for the longest time, and this team has just ignored the offensive line situation and the defensive line situation. So I wouldn't be surprised at all that I don't know what the fifth pick is going to be overall. The people are saying Ashton Genty. People are saying Mason Graham, but I just know that those picks afterwards in the second round and third, I hope they're big men. I hope they're furniture moving men. I want bouncers. I want people to throw. I want somebody that's going to throw people out the club. That's who I want. I want big, wide body men.
How many times have you heard me say big asses and big thighs? That's what wins on the line of scrimmage.
No. Big thighs.
That's what wins on the line of scrimmage.
Absolutely, I agree totally.
When you got that low center of mass that cannot be moved, that's how you run the ball in the league.
Yeah.
That's how you run the ball in football, period.
Yeah. Well,
That's
you say
what
the
they
best. You say this up front, we can't get a short, we can't get a third and short,
one,
and we can't stop a third and one. Man, that's the key. That's the key. Keeping drives alive, and then stopping drives, getting off and getting 3 and outs.
Right.
That's what the NFL. That's what the NFL is all about.
All right, we are This is how hacker this is me. We're about 30 hours away from this thing being kicked off. And we got a lot to get into today. We're going to get into the 1010XL annual media draft, as well as I want to get into the Ashton Genty situation and the idea that this team could actually pick him. And I think it's not what everyone thinks it is, although who knows at this point. This could be a grand statement by this young group. Come on back. We'll get into a lot of draft talk. We've got Eric Edholm from NFL.com coming on about 2:35. We got a big show. It's one day to go, everybody. It's XLP.
I'm Brad Meester.
I'm Sean McDonough.
On 1010XL.
1010XL 92.5 FM.
If you've played sports or still lead an active life, chances are joint pain is nothing new. This is Dr. George Barry of Barry Orthopedics, and we like to be your option when it comes to taking care of your body and getting back in the game. From shoulders to elbows to hip and knee pain, Barry Orthopedics can diagnose and treat a variety of injuries that are causing you pain. We are Barry Orthopedics and online at barryorthopedics.com. With more than 30 years of experience, our team is here to care for your entire family.
Find out more at barryorthopedics.com. That's BAHRI orthopedics.com.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. There was a time if you handed me a bread basket at a restaurant, you better watch your fingers. Pizza, pasta, bread, carbs were absolutely my weakness. I'd be lying if I said they didn't have me hooked. Then Awaken 180 came into my life. I've been down every diet road there is, but this one's different. It's not just another diet. It's a total reset of how you see food. You know that carb craving we've all accepted as normal? Gone now. Don't get me wrong. I still enjoy the good stuff, but here's the difference. I no longer feel like I need them. So when the server puts down that bread basket on the table, I just sit back and smile and say, I'm good. Man, that feeling of control, everyone, is all thanks to Awaken 180. I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180. Hacker lost more than 110. Baloo's firing on his way, and you can lose whatever you want. It doesn't matter what your goal weight is. Awaken 180 weight loss will get you there quickly and safely. A clear path to success without disappointment. Awaken 180 has changed my life. It will change yours too. Give them a call, 844-346-1800, or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
AA Automotive helps keep your vehicle in dependable and safe condition. Call Sam, Harry, or Joe, and they'll check your brakes, tires, fluids, electric, and motor, so your ride runs smooth on the road. That's AA Automotive on Richard Street.
The Sawgrass Marriott Golf Resort and Spa is the perfect place for indulging in a pampering spa treatment. This Mother's Day season, give the gift of wellness with a gift card and take advantage of the spa's current promotion. Buy a $75 gift card or more and guests get a credit towards a future service. With healing massages, revitalizing facial treatments, and more, a day at the Sawgrass Spa makes a perfect gift for everyone. Purchase in person at Sawgrass Spa during operating hours.
Are you looking for the best lunch specials in town? Check out One Night Taco Stand. They have bold and flavorful options on your favorite Mexican dishes at prices you can't beat. Try the Taco Trio. Choose any 3 of their specialty tacos or street tacos for just $9.99. Find a Taco Tuesday special every day at One Night Taco Stand, Mandarin, Orange Park, and Southside at Bay Meadows.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Get to know positions and players. The 1010XL Ultimate Draft Guide is brought to you by Blue Haven Pools, the #1 pool builder in Jacksonville. Follow rankings and roundtables as the draft takes shape. Go to 1010XL.com/2025 draft guide to get yours.
Shania Twain.
Let's go, girls.
Live in Jacksonville. Shania Twain. 2 incredible shows. Daly's Place, July 29th, and Due to Demand, second show added July 30th. With special guest Mackenzie Porter. New show on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. For more, visit ShaniaTwain.com.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
Hi, I'm Jeff Breyer, president of Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring.
And I'm Zach Breyer. When my dad started in business in 1990, I wasn't even born yet.
That's true. And after 35 years and nearly 20,000 satisfied customers, we literally have a showroom in every neighborhood.
So whether you need more outdoor living space with a glass or screen enclosure, or you're looking to transform your home with new flooring, we've got you covered.
Visit our websites, or better yet, do yourself a favor and stop by one of our showrooms on Phillips Highway to experience the Lifetime difference and receive 20% off your purchase.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
All right, we're back on XLP. Matt Hayes, Leon Searcy, JJ LaSalva, Joe C. doing a little PJ Tour work. I want to get into the Ashton Genty and the Jaguars. I guess talk is the best way to say it because we don't know what's going on right now. And I think that's the whole point with this, okay? It's picked up steam. There's no doubt about that. We're at the point now in the annual draft process, and we talk about this all the time, where teams make you believe what they want you to believe, if they can. So you got team execs and scouts and personnel people. They talk with others in the league. They talk with their mirrors on other teams in the league and do so around this time specifically to get a gauge on where the draft is headed and how any advantage can be gained. That's part of their job. I mean, the draft is that critical. So if you're the Jags and you've talked with a few teams who you believe want Genty badly, it's a no-brainer to leak that you're interested in him, that you're going to pick him. Because once you do that, then you're in a situation of, okay, there might be 2 or 3 teams that really, really want him. And there's always that in the NFL draft where there's 1 or 2 or 3 teams that really want a player and will do what needs to be done to move up to get him. And if you're not sure about that number 5 spot in the draft and you think you've got 3 or 4 guys that could fit that spot and that you can get later, and you can also pick up draft capital so you could have 5 or 6 or heck, even 7 picks in the first 80, 90 picks. How good would that be for this franchise that has, frankly, a lot of holes? Now, I get it, the thought process of, Leon, and I want to get you to talk about this because this comes from back in your day, a long, long time ago.
Galaxy far, far away.
Back in the 90s, the Cowboys had a thing called the triplets. And it was Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin. And it was the quarterback, the running back, the wide receiver. They were all 3 Hall of Famers, all 3 elite of the game when they played. And everybody has tried to get that sense that the idea of having the triplets puts you in a position on offense where you're very difficult to defend, where you are causing conflict all the time on defense. So if you look at it as the way that the Jags truly do want Ashton Genty, because they want that triplet idea of who they believe their quarterback can be with Trevor Lawrence, Ashton Genty, and Brian Thomas Jr. So I think it's a smokescreen. I think they're trying to get more picks.
Yeah.
But I could see but if you want to argue with me, and if you can do so on the text line, 641-1010, brought to you by our good friends at Lifetime Enclosures. If you want to argue with me about that, I think it's a smokescreen, but I also could see the idea of having the triplets and building off that.
No, I can see that. I mean, they could be leveraging Ashton Genty because, listen, all the way up until the last couple of days, Mason Graham was already put here in Jacksonville, and it wasn't creating any kind of pull from any of the other teams because everybody just automatically submitted that Jacksonville was going to take Mason Graham. So now Ashton Genty, a couple of days away from the draft, he's getting under. There's a lot of teams that want him. So, I mean, like you said, it could be a situation where you try to create those triplets where you got the Trevor Lawrence and you got BTJ and you got Ashton Genty. Let's not forget now the Great Wall offensive line was
Great Wall Duval.
The Great Wall of Dallas. That offensive line had a little bit to do with the fact that the triplets had those kind of success. So if you're telling me that you're going to go after Ashton Genty to create this 3-pod of offense, damn sure make sure that offensive line is together. We got a long way from all pros across the board. So saying that, I told you if they take Ashton Genty at number 5, I have no problem with that, but I better see a guard. I better see a guard within the next pick or two. Got to. I need a defense. I need a guard and I need a D tackle. So the Ashton Genty thing doesn't bother me, but moving forward in the draft, I got to see somebody to block for him.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, it's the Jeanty stuff, the Jeanty to the Jaguars stuff, has really only picked up steam like in the last week.
Yeah.
So
because they had Mason Graham penciled in for the longest.
So you've got to think like the first 3.5 months are typically the feeling out process, and where you put out the idea of this or the idea of that because you're trying to sway a draft this way or that way.
Mm-hmm.
But typically what happens is as the last couple days you start to see things falling in place. So, is it possible that we're there and they're going to pick Jeanty?
It's possible. Absolutely, it's possible. Yeah.
Man. That might be the ultimate coin flip. Not that I think he'll be a good player, but that means that what they got in free agency, they're very happy with.
With as far as the offensive line? Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was telling you that. They feel that they've got enough guys in the offensive line in free agency to compete with what we have. What do we have, though? I'm not sure if we made any improvement because most of the guys that we got are serviceable guys. Most of the guys are backups or were benched or, we had one guy who was a legitimate starter for the Baltimore Ravens, but the rest of the guys are journeymen, in my opinion. Now maybe they saw something in them in film that we haven't watched that feels that they're going to be competitive in some capacity when they get here.
Patrick McCarr is going to be the starting right guard. Clearly.
Yeah, he's going to be you
got a guy who lost his job for the Bucs at center.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he's going to be your starting center.
He's going to be your starting center.
You're probably sticking with the same left guard unless you draft someone.
Unless you get
Gray Zabel.
Yeah, Zabel, or you could get Donovan Jackson.
Yeah.
Donovan Jackson, Ohio State, who moved from left guard to left tackle after their left tackle got hurt, which lets you know he's versatile. Now bro, that's the direction it looks like it's going to me.
I actually think that if they take Jeanty, I think the next 2 picks will be offensive linemen.
It has to be.
Because if you're committing to taking Jeanty, then you're committing to running the ball.
Absolutely.
And what they've got right now, they're not running the ball.
And I don't have a problem with that. I told you, I keep telling you, Trevor Lawrence's best friend is going to be a run game.
Yeah, you've been saying all along.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
His best friend is going to be a run game. Now he doesn't have to press as much. The offensive line is taking over. And now if you got a good run game, and the Philadelphia Eagles showed this to us last year. That's the blueprint. If you can run the ball and you're physical up front, you can protect. Now play action is in play. And, and you can take your shots down if you're getting the adequate protection. So if Trevor gets a run game with an Ashton Genty and a patchwork offensive line that's suitable, more suitable than we've been in the last couple of years, let's see what happens.
Last year the Bucs with Liam Cohen as the OC, they ran the hell out of the ball.
They did, and they got what? They got Bucky. They got what? Irvin in what? This 5th round, 6th round,
4th round, I think.
4th round.
Yeah. But you're also talking about a team that not only ran the ball really well, but then magically, their quarterback had the best season of his career. I think I might be wrong, but JJ, didn't he have 39 touchdown passes last year, Baker Mayfield?
I think he was 39-6.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he had a ridiculous touchdown to interception ratio last year. They ran the ball.
That was well in part because he had an offensive line that could run the ball.
Right.
Yeah.
He actually had 41 and 16.
And 16?
Yeah.
Okay.
4,500
yards.
You'll take that? You'll take that from Trevor? all day.
Bro, Trevor's had back-to-back years where he hasn't come up with 41 touchdown passes.
I know, exactly.
Years.
Collectively.
Multiple,
yes.
right.
Yes. So he can get, listen, if he gives us 40 and 10 and we got a solid run game, we're going places.
Yeah, I think just part of me believes that they're trying to get more picks because I think they got in there and they did a little self-eval and they saw the roster and they realized, all right, we've got some holes. Because we can sit around this table and do that. We can see that they need another edge, maybe 2 more edges. We can see they need another corner. They may need 2 safeties. You know, you can look at that. They need a couple guards, right?
Defensive tackle.
Wide receiver. There's all kind of holes on this team.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I could see it as, okay, in this last week, we're really going to push the idea that we're going to take Jeanty because there's got to be at least 2 or 3 teams that believe they're one guy away from being what the Eagles were, and that one guy is a legit running back, which I believe Jeanty can be. I think he's going to be a star in the league. And then you've got the situation where, all right, well, what are you willing to give us? And you're on the clock, and there's 15 minutes, and it goes down to 10 minutes, and now it's at 7 minutes. And now you've got a couple teams calling you. All right, well, I got them calling me too. What are you going to, you know, we all saw the NFL draft.
Yeah.
So you try and get everything you can out of it. I still think it's that. If they picked him, I would not be upset. If they picked him and then Friday and Saturday, they didn't follow with the next 3 of the next 4 picks being offensive linemen, I'd be a little ticked off.
Concerned. I would
be
too.
a little ticked off.
Listen, I would absolutely be ticked off. If we take Ashton Genty and then we don't move forward as far as bringing in some young stud at offensive line, yeah, I'll be upset.
All right, we need to take a break. We're going to come back with NFL.com's senior NFL draft analyst, Eric Edholm. He'll break down the draft for us. Come on back. It's XLP.
This is 1010 XL Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
When you think of America, you think baseball, cookouts, military, and pride for our country. At Garber Auto Mall, we're proud to carry every American-made truck at one location. Ford, Chevy, GMC, Ram, and Jeep. With the largest inventory selection in North Florida, you can shop with one salesperson. Garber Auto Mall is proud to support our country, our military, and our community. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or at GarberAutomall.com. Garber Auto Mall. Proud to be American.
When the unexpected happens, you shouldn't have to face it alone. I'm Chris Campione, and at Campione Law, we're here to fight for you. Whether it's an auto accident or a slip and fall, our Jacksonville team takes care of every detail, from investigating the incident to securing multi-million-dollar verdicts, so you can focus on getting better. And remember, you don't pay a dime unless we win your case. Our commitment is 24/7, bringing you the real support from real people who really care. Campione Law, your dedicated partners in justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Campione Law. Get a healthy start in 2025. The Florida Department of Health in Duval County is here to encourage you to get healthy and stay healthy this year. They have a dedicated team who are committed to providing quality care. The goal is to protect, promote, and improve the health of you and your family. Visit duval.floridahealth.gov to learn more about their health programs and services. That's duval.floridahealth.gov.
For the greenest, luscious lawn on the block, choose the local legends, Roundtree Sod. Don't just settle for ordinary. Let Roundtree Sod deliver you a picture-perfect lawn. To get a free estimate, call 7414-SOD. 7414-SOD.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On April 23rd, 2020, at the NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Louisiana State quarterback Heisman Trophy winner Joe Burrow with the first overall pick.
Mia here. You know, people typically start and end their day by visiting their closet. So shouldn't that space feel calm, organized, like a little moment of luxury? That's why I chose Closets by Design. They specialize in custom solutions for every lifestyle and budget. Call them this week to schedule your free in-home consultation and get 40% off plus another 15% off and free installation. Don't wait for mom to do it. Call now at 1-800-293-3744 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey man, what's that noise?
Do you hear it too? You can hear it, right?
Yeah, it's your air conditioner. It's like a grinding or a rattling.
And it's getting on your nerves, right? Like it's eating at your brain and you can't think straight? But it just keeps grinding and squeaking and taunting and nagging. You're not good enough. You're a failure. Why can't you be more like your sister, the lawyer?
Yeah, I don't hear that last part so much.
Yeah, but it's not cool, right, Jason?
It could definitely be cooler. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we can totally repair whatever that noise is and get your AC working smoothly and silently. We fix these things all the time.
So I won't be a failure?
Life should be enjoyed. If some irritating, broken air conditioner is making you crazy, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Free Comic Book Day. Hey, I'm Ben Kay, owner of Gotham City Limit, your local comic shop, inviting you to the Community Party of the Year, Saturday, May 3rd. Free comics, free food, huge discounts, and more. Let's take Free Comic Book Day to the limit, Gotham City Limit. Beat the spring cleaning rush with big savings and priority booking by calling our heroes at Zero Res. This month, get Zero Resified from Jacksonville's #1 carpet cleaner. You'll get 25% off all cleaning services. That's right, 25% off. Check out 8,000 raving customer reviews if you don't believe me online. Call them, 904-287-5727, or visit their website, ZeroResJacksonville.com. Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
So, you finally have some time to yourself. Even if it is just the car ride home, it's you time. And look at you. Do not disturb set before you even got in the car? Impressive. You've earned this moment to just chill and drive. This break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
All right, 6 teams, by the way, left in the Searcy Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Auburn 2010 and Miami 2001. They're warming up on the field in the Superdome. We're going to get into that. The winner of that game gets to the semifinals, and it's been a wild week, by the way, in the Searcy Sweet 16.
It has, bro.
I mean, absolutely crazy.
Very unpredictable.
Is it possible that Cam does the unthinkable again and beats that 2001? Well, I mean, the 95 Nebraska's already lost. Why wouldn't 2001 Miami lose?
Why not?
Wow.
We'll see.
We will definitely see. All right. This is clearly we're going to bring on this young man, one of truly my favorite guests we have all the time, Eric Edholm, NFL.com's senior NFL draft expert. Good afternoon. Thanks so much. We're trying to break down this draft, man. We got 1 day to go, and there's all kind of stuff flying everywhere.
Yeah, I don't feel like an expert right now. Let me tell you all the conflicting information I've gotten in the last 48 hours. And isn't it funny? You put out your final mock draft, you sign, seal, and deliver it, and then you get the really good information after that.
Right.
So, it's the way it goes, I guess.
So listen, man, we're having this argument here at the station about Ashton Genty. And I'm kind of throwing out two sides of it, that it's the typical smokescreen of, we really want him, when the reality is they're not happy at number 5 and they'd like to move back and get some more capital. Or maybe they really do want him and they want to build the Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin triplet with Trevor Lawrence, Ashton Genty, and Brian Thomas Jr. Where do you fall on that?
Yeah, it could be that. I mean, I obviously for a long time we saw Mason Graham's name kind of penciled in as chalk in that spot, and it never quite fit with me. I mean, I understand the need and everything, and I just kept thinking, like, who else would they want? And I put Tyler Warren there in my second mock and got a lot of guff for that. But it does feel like, based on some of the tea leaves I've seen, that an offensive player is likely there. And so when I kind of got that information, I felt like Jeanty made the most sense of the offensive guys. I mean, I could certainly see Warren. You could make a case for a receiver, to pair with Brian and give him another weapon on the outside, Ted McMillan or whoever. But I don't know. As we get closer, it feels like Jeanty to the Jaguars is the real thing. And
wow.
Maybe people locally are looking at it like, hey, we've got a couple backs we like, but the new staff and the new scouts may see it a little differently.
Eric, for the last couple of years, I've been saying that a run game is probably Trevor Lawrence's best friend. So, Ashton Genty was a dynamic player last year as a running back. Is it a reach with Ashton Genty, or could they find somebody later on to where they should draft?
That's a great question, because obviously for years we've debated how much does a running back matter in this NFL. I would argue that, the run game has been cycling back into the league, if you count the quarterback run game as well, for a few years now. We've seen the numbers across the board go up by small increments. You saw the importance of a Saquon Barkley to Philly, and to a Bucky Irving to Tampa, and, obviously Josh Jacobs to Green Bay, whoever, Derrick Henry to Baltimore. So I can see there being somewhat of a wave that helps push it in that direction where Jeanty becomes a little more valuable. Plus, outside of Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter, and maybe Cam Ward's in that discussion too, given his positional value, but I don't know how many true blue chippers there are in this class, true blue players who in any given year would definitely be in the discussion for a top 10 pick, no matter what draft class they were in. So to me, that also kind of pushes it up. This is not a year where the 5th pick is going to be a vastly different from the 15th pick. I think there's the middle of the first round. You can get players that, are tantamount to some of the top 10 guys. So that's part of it, I think, but also his contact balance, his explosiveness, his burst, his vision, they're all high NFL caliber, in my opinion.
We're speaking with Eric Edholm, senior NFL draft analyst for NFL Media, NFL.com. I'm going to get the one eye from both Leon, the Hurricane Hall of Famer, and our producer, JJ, is a huge Canes fan, but I want to talk about Cam Ward.
Yep.
Of the breakdown you've done on Cam Ward, 2 questions. If this were any other year, but this very light quarterback class, where do you think he'd go? And number 2, do you think he's the type of player that can be an impact in the league?
Yeah, I think he definitely will be an impact starter in this league. I guess the question is, can he be a top 10 quarterback in this league? Can he put himself in that sort of upper echelon, depending on where your cutoffs are and how many, true top quarterbacks there are in people's minds? Let's just say top 10 for argument's sake. That's where I'm a little bit wondering if that ever happens. I'd like to see him use his athleticism to his advantage a little bit more. Felt like he tried to buy time in the pocket and often got away with what would be sacks in the NFL at times, but he's a tough customer back there. He's got some mental strength, I think. He's played in, 3 different systems in college. He's sort of a self-made prospect in a lot of ways. He's got a thick NFL build. I think he's got the arm talent to make virtually every throw in the playbook. And he can throw from different platforms and arm angles and all that stuff. And that's the modern NFL, is finding guys who can play off script a little bit and do those sorts of things. So there's a lot to like about him. I think if he was in last year's class with Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, I think the best he could have done for himself would be 4th in the quarterback hierarchy. That's my opinion. That's, I don't know, how it would shake out, but I don't know that he would reach that level in last year's draft. He would have been competing with the likes of, Penix and J.J. McCarthy and Bo Nix for that 4th, 5th, 6th spot, I think. So, again, Bo Nix was great last year. Michael Penix could end up being the future in Atlanta. This isn't besmirching, him as a prospect, but there's somewhat of a limitation to who he is, and I think he's going first because, A, the Titans need a quarterback. If not, he would have gone probably second to the Browns, unless they were totally fixated on Travis Hunter in the first place. So, yeah, that's. I think he has a chance to be very good. We'll see if he can reach that excellent plateau.
So, Eric, let's get to the most polarizing guy in the draft, which is Shedeur Sanders. I mean, he's picked to go 3rd, 9th, or even 21st to the Steelers, or maybe not even in the first round. I mean, did you see enough from him in his career at Colorado to warrant him being a first-round pick?
Yeah, I had him just outside my top 32. I think I had him 33rd in my overall board. And, you know, the thing that becomes obvious if you see him after a while, number one, he's a tough kid. He took a lot of hits in college, especially in 2023, but even last season. You know, he's got the accuracy. He's got the touch on his throws. He's got some creativity in his game. But physically speaking, he's really not anything terribly special by NFL standards. I mean, they're all special athletes. But, you know, like if you're stacking him up against some of the starting quarterbacks in this league, I think he'd probably, physically speaking, be in the bottom third somewhere. And, you know, again, I think there's enough there to project him, given where he and other, you know, I don't want to say self-made. Obviously, you have Deion Sanders' DNA. You know, you're sort of starting at a certain point there. But at the same time, you know, he wasn't blessed with his dad's foot speed or anything like that. He's not a phenomenal athlete. And, you know, coming up from the FCS ranks to do what he did at Colorado, which was a dormant program, I think does suggest that, you know, maybe he can elevate a team to a certain point. But even more so than Cam Ward, I have questions about whether he can be great. The thing that I found interesting in conversations I've had when I've asked questions like that, Leon, is that some teams think that, hey, look, if you draft Shedeur, especially if it comes in the first round, and the higher it goes, the more this becomes the case maybe. A year from now, 2 years from now, even though Deion signed that extension, there's going to be speculation about could Deion come coach their team and coach Shedeur. You know, some coaches are going to start to tell their GMs like, hey, man, this pick is going to put me in a tough spot. So I think there's a little bit of hesitancy from certain clubs in terms of, you know, dealing with the Sanders aspect of it, meaning you get him, you kind of get Deion in a certain respect too. And other people are maybe questioning the overall skill set and saying, he's good, but is he great? That's, I think, one of the reasons why we don't really know where he's going to go. Maybe it's 21st to Pittsburgh. Maybe it's later than that.
All right, I'm staring at a clock right now. It says 29 hours, 14 minutes, and 23 seconds until the draft. That's how crazy. That's how crazy this event has become, man. Hey,
this has become like the Boston Marathon here. I'm at mile 11 right now. I need to get to 26 pretty fast.
So listen, man. Before we let you go, this team is in desperate need of interior offensive linemen. Give us 2-3 guys to watch that they could get maybe in the second, third round.
Yeah, I think that's about where you start thinking about the draft, the talent falling off a little bit. I like Tate Ratledge a lot. I think from Georgia, if you watch their group with him and without him when he was out with injury, he made a difference. He was kind of the glue of that group. Probably a guard only, but somebody who brings sort of a nasty attitude. I'm sure the mullet will play over well in Duval, right?
Right.
So I could see him being a fit there from both a football and a fan standpoint. Jonas Savanea from Arizona, right tackle, who could be a guard in this league, sort of a big guy who moves pretty well. I wish he played with a little bit more power in his game, but he's got the mass, and I think would be a day one right guard or something like that. The one who's sort of risen, and I didn't get on him until too late, but Miles Frazier from LSU is another guard prospect that's gotten some attention. I didn't have him in my top 100. I think he has a good chance to go in the back end of the top 100. So that's another name to kind of file away for a day 2 pick.
All right, he's Eric Edholm. Read his stuff at NFL.com. Follow him on X at Eric_Edholm. Bro, terrific stuff. We always appreciate it, man.
All right, fellas. Enjoy the next few days.
Yeah, we will.
You got it.
That's Eric Edholm's the best, man. The best. Mm-hmm. And by the way, I hear like a rumble now in the Superdome. What's going on there with Auburn and Miami?
Oh, we got early score.
Already,
baby.
Well, wait. You got to break it down first.
All right, break it down. All right.
Let's break it down real quick. Go ahead.
Okay,
Before we go to break it down.
We got 2001 Miami Hurricanes versus 2010 Auburn Tigers. All right, we're playing in the Superdome. The early betting odds is Miami 6.5.
Wow.
Over under is 55.5. Yeah.
55.5. Yes. With those two offenses.
Yes. That's
You need to get your notes? Get your notes. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
All right. Jay, let's go to break. We're going to come back. We'll break down this last quarterfinal.
Mm-hmm.
Last quarterfinal of the Searcy 16 that will feed into the semifinals, which are already looking very dicey, to say the least. We got a lot of draft talk to get into as well. Come on back. It's XLP.
Get more horsepower under the hood.
Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, drivers.
This Sunday at Talladega. NASCAR is tuned up by Maxie's Mechanics on Jacksonville's NASCAR station, 1010XL.
I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is more than just a legal process. It's a life-changing event that can impact your future, finances, and your relationship with your children. You've worked hard to build a life that you're proud of, and you deserve a legal partner who will work just as hard to protect it.
Offices in Jacksonville. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's attorneys. Lisa Cargis, Florida resident partner. Rick Julius, licensed in Pennsylvania only. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Leon Searcy here. As a former athlete, I used to eat big, and those habits are hard to break. I admit I need help controlling my appetite and losing weight. So I call Physician Guided Weight Loss in South Point. Their medical team is helping me shed pounds safely with a customized plan. And their firm pricing means same price every month. Hey, summer is coming, and I'm bringing sexy back. You can too with Physicians Guided Weight Loss in South Point. Visit pgweightloss.com.
Plumbing problem? AC acting up? Septic tank trouble? Don't waste time calling 3 different companies. Just call Duck Duck Rooter. We offer plumbing, septic, and air conditioning services. Call 904-862-6769.
4 guys, want a golf course fairway quality lawn? TopDressing.com just landed in Jacksonville with the golf course secret for St. Augustine grass homeowners. A patented process that aerates and turns your turf into a fairway stunner. Serious golf course technology, but in your yard. Less water, tighter cuts, total neighborhood domination. No one else scores a perfect 10 lawn. Hit TopDressing.com now. You will own the block. Top dress your yard like the pros with TopDressing.com.
It's time to elevate your game night. Head to Best Bet, your premier destination for poker, card games, and hospitality. With locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine, we have a seat ready for you. Whether you're a seasoned poker player or just starting out, we have you covered with poker games of all limits and easy-to-learn games like Ultimate Texas Hold'em. And it's not just poker. With delicious dining, lively bars, and big screen events, there's something for everyone at Best Bet. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com and ante up for fun.
It's fun to predict because it's usually unpredictable. 1010XL's draft coverage is brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Windows and Doors and First Coast Recyclers. Roll through the offseason with AA Automotive.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. You've heard us talk about it. Window World, the #1 window replacement company in the USA, selling over 1 million windows each year for the past 8 years.
That's a lot of satisfied customers and why J.D. Powers has awarded Window World Best in Customer Satisfaction 3 out of 4 years.
Window World stands behind their slogan, simply the best for less. With Window World, you get top quality windows at a price that leaves more of your money in your bank account, and you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement industry. When compared to our competition, there is none. See for yourself. Call the competition. Get quotes from them. But before you buy, get Window World's free estimate and compare the quality of the windows and the price.
You'll see.
And when your new Window World windows are installed and they're saving you money on your energy bills, if anything goes wrong with those windows, Window World and I will be there to make it right. That's my guarantee.
Call Window World today. Start saving money on your new windows and your energy bills and take vacation with your savings. Window World, online at windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors and siding.
Hey, it's Guggen Golf time. If you and a friend would like to play in this year's Coastal Equipment Guggen Open Golf Tournament, May 19th at Hidden Hills Golf Club, text Guggen, Googan, to the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010 for your chance to win. Score a hole in one and win an Atlantic Infinity SUV. Enjoy a Chick-fil-A breakfast, a Dandy Foods lunch. Check out the latest big boy toys from Ride Now Power Sports. Thanks to our sponsors, Taco Loop, Lift Power, Instant Keys, and Southern Oak Insurance.
Look out, world! We're getting strong. The future
at Chic and STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
When it comes to towing products, your safety is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
Need or want cash? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Ackerman Cancer Center, celebrating 10 years of excellence in cancer screening, diagnosis, and treatment. Always accepting new patients and 99% of all insurances. Call now to schedule a new consultation within 48 hours. Learn more at ackermancancercenter.com.
New year, new club. This is Joe C., and I'm proud to be a member of Southampton. And with the popularity of golf, getting a tee time is tough. But with membership comes member privileges. Enjoy clubhouse dining, expanded practice area, focusing on all parts of your game. And right now, you can join with an annual commitment and get a $1,000 discount, plus $500 of Pro Shop credit. All the details are online at golfsouthampton.com or call 287-PLAY and make a tee time today at the Golf Club of Southampton.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Local sports update brought to you by the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Last night on the ice, the highly anticipated first-round playoff matchup between the Florida Panthers and Tampa Bay Lightning got underway. The Panthers put a beatdown on them to start the series off strong with a 6-2 win. Matthew Tkachuk scored last night in his first game back in 2 months, as Panthers coach Paul Maurice chimed in on how he thought Tkachuk looked in his return.
When you put it in the context, he hasn't played a hockey game in 2 months. You or I wouldn't have any hands in that game. For him, he can still take that much time off and handle a puck the way he handles it. And the rest of it was just smartly played by him, in that I don't think he was in the rhythm of the game. But I was very happy with Mackey and Sam Bennett. I thought they played a really smart game. It allowed Matthew to get reacclimated to the game.
It's 84 degrees at 2:55. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Newton back to throw under some pressure. Pulls up. Has his man open. Caught. Lutzenkirchen. Auburn has claimed a tie in the ballgame. 3rd and 12, McElroy. Yep. Oh, he got him at the 41 to Charbon Bell.
Yep, off the edge. They were coming after him. With the different receivers in the game, they decided to come after the quarterback. And the quarterback is down.
No timeouts. Clock starts to run again. 3 wide for St. Pierre. Back slam. It's intercepted on a ricochet. Intercepted by Matt Walters on the ricochet. Lateraled it off to Edward Reed. And Reed will dash into the end zone. Oh, what a turn of events as Miami on a ricochet. Folks, you won't believe it. On the interception, Miami is saved.
This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
That was so good. Ed Reed was just like, give me the damn ball, Matt.
Yeah, he whispered in his ear. But you, listen, the faith for your teammate to, I mean, he already had the interception. The game was over.
Just nailed it out.
Yeah, you could have nailed it out. The game would have been over.
No,
but to have
Ed
the
won that
faith,
thing, man.
to have the faith that your teammates say, "Hey, man, give me the ball," and you give up the ball in that crucial situation. Come on, bro. Goodness gracious.
Oh, my gosh. So we are now starting the second hour here of XLP. Matt Hayes, Leon Searcy, JJ LaSalva, Joe C. off doing a little PGA Tour work. We're getting right into our XLP Leon Searcy Sweet 16 best CFP team of all time. We have not had any controversy at all so far.
Until now.
We've had some comebacks. We've had some crazy plays. But now we got a little controversy.
A little controversy, man. I mean, I don't know what fans I may have offended in some capacity, but Listen,
the Bible.
No, I'm old school, right? You know, so I take notes and I research and I write stuff down, right?
Your Bible.
So my Bible, yes, my research Bible, all right?
It's gone.
It's gone. Just out of thin air.
Out of the blue.
Someone just came and just took the final score, all that stuff.
He claims
it's no
that
longer
he
here.
walked into the building with it under his
Under
arm.
my arm, absolutely. And I put it down and this now.
So
it's
is it
gone.
an inside job?
So somebody I must have offended.
First off, do these people really think that it's not all in your head, too?
Of course.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, I
Seriously,
know.
you're not going to
Yeah.
knock him sideways just by stealing his notebook.
Exactly.
He's got it all down, man.
That's right, baby.
All right, let's roll through the first. Let's roll through the particulars first, and then we'll get a first quarter score.
Okay, here we go. We got the Auburn Tigers, all right? SEC and national champions 14-0. I think their coach, second-year coach, Gene Chizik, offensive coordinator Gus Malzahn. All right, they run the spread option play action read.
Or also called give it to Cam.
Oh, yeah, that part. Yeah, give it to Cam. They run a 4-3 defense and a Tampa 2 defense as well. Now, they're led by Heisman Trophy winner Cam Newton. Wow, I almost say award.
Almost.
Cam Newton, who, by the way, that particular season
was pretty good.
Had 50 touchdowns, bro.
He's pretty good.
Passing, running, and he had one receiving. He's pretty.
By the way, he also did all of that.
Yes.
While dealing with everybody investigating him and his dad because he was offered $160,000 by Mississippi State, or he turned it down, or he was offered it by Auburn, or there's all kind of stuff going on. There were people investigating his dad and the churches he worked at because he was funneling money, allegedly, through churches. All that stuff's going on all around him, swirling around this young cat. His first season in major college football as a starter. He played at Florida. Was a backup.
He won a championship at Florida, right?
Yeah, but was nothing on that team. Was literally nothing other than a scout team guy. And a couple touchdowns in games against, Long Island. And goes to Blinn, comes back his first season. Again, first season as a starter at a major college program with all that crap rolling around in October, November. Look what he does.
Was he the first one and done?
No, because you can't technically say that because he was.
I mean, as a
still at
starter, I'm
Florida.
talking about as a starter. I mean, 1 year as a starter and you win the Heisman and you go first pick overall.
That might be a first. Yeah,
that's pretty special, bro. That's pretty special. All right, well, Auburn went on to beat number 12 South Carolina, number 12 Arkansas, number 6 LSU, and then they went into SEC championship game and where they beat South Carolina in the SEC championship game 56-17, and then in the national championship game against Oregon, they went 22-19. So there's your Auburn Tigers, 2010 Auburn Tigers.
Good team.
Great team. This morning I was watching both of their stats. I was watching the highlights of the 2010 Auburn and the 2001 Hurricanes. Very impressive. Both teams, very impressive. So now let's get to
the team.
Yeah, well, some would say. I know JJ would say it.
I think you would
don't know
say
how many.
I think you would say
Well,
too.
listen, you don't know how
and
many.
I think in a few days when this thing wraps up, we're all going to see that.
Well, here's the thing you don't. Here's the thing you don't understand. Here's the thing you don't understand. And when I go back to Miami, like we all go back to the games and stuff like that, there's the biggest. Listen, the 2001 Hurricanes are the biggest smack talkers of all time. I thought we talked smack back in the day.
Really?
They let you know. They let you know.
They're also still talking.
Oh, yeah, they let you know.
25
who's
years
the king
later.
That's true because that's Roms and Ed Reed.
Yeah, well, they let you know who's the king on the throne.
Yeah.
True. But deserving. I don't see any flaws in that team. But I'm going to be partial. Here we go. The University of Miami. All right. 2001. They were the Big East champions and they were national champions. All right. They finished in both polls ranked number 1. They played in the Orange Bowl, also known as the OB, which I call the Mecca.
You do.
I do.
You've made that known many times. This
All right.
is Mecca.
The head coach was Larry Coker. The offensive coordinator was Rob Chuzinski, also nicknamed Chud. Defensive coordinator was Randy Shannon, nicknamed Onion. They ran 4-3 defense, covered 2.
Why is it Onion? Because he made the girls cry?
Yeah, he made the girls cry. I played with him. All right. And then offensively, they ran a pro-style offense. The Miami Hurricanes that season started the season up at Happy Valley where they beat Penn State 33-7. They went on to beat Florida, number 13 Florida State. That's the Ed Reed speech, who was hurt. This legendary speech about him being hurt. They beat number 13 Florida State. They beat number 17 Syracuse, number 11 Washington, number 14 Virginia Tech, and then they beat Nebraska in the national championship game 37-14. All right. That Miami Hurricane team, that roster had 17 first-round picks.
Oof.
It had 38 players drafted.
17 first-round picks.
17 first-round picks.
Yeah.
My God. That's like stupid good. Seriously.
It is good. I could tell this story. So I'm on the sideline, and I'm with the Dolphins. I'm on the sideline. Miami's playing Florida State in Miami. So I'm on the sideline, right? And their weightlifting coach's name is Swift. Yeah. So I'm coming off the sideline, and I said, Coach, I said, who's that big guy with dreads on, number 75? He said, oh, yeah, that's Vince Wilfork. He's just a freshman. I said, what? He's a freshman? I said, Coach, let me tell you something right now. I said, I'm 11 years deep in the league. I don't think I could block him. I'm for real. Man, he was a huge human being, bro. When he told me he was just a freshman, I almost lost.
Yeah, the backups on that roster are like Sean Taylor, like you just said.
Kellen Winslow.
The list goes on and on. The running backs, like the three that weren't Clinton Portis, all became pretty good to great NFL players, including Frank Gore,
McGahee,
who I think was like maybe a true freshman on that team. Yeah, McGahee, who of course was like the running back the next year, who got hurt in the title game. But to think Willis McGahee was the second best running back on that,
right?
Yeah, it's crazy. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, to think Sean Taylor was like couldn't even get on the field. That's the strangest thing. Yeah.
Yeah, a great team.
Jonathan Vilmo at middle linebacker, just phenomenal player.
All right, so we're apparently we're deep into the first quarter, so let's get some highlights.
Well, we're deep into the first quarter. We got an early score: Miami 10, Auburn nothing.
We haven't had a blowout yet. That's number one. And number two, we really haven't had where a defense took charge of a game yet. Could this be it? Could this be like the ugly game of all ugly?
Well, here's the thing.
He was a one-man band.
Well, here's the thing. In all my matchups, I show respect to both eras.
Right.
So I will never be in a situation where you'll see me tally a score more than 21.
Well, you're not that far away. It's only 9 years away.
Huh?
It's only 9 years away. One was 01 and one was 10.
Yeah, true. It's true, but I'm gonna keep it respectful.
Let me just say this to you. I already know that the game is being played out and it's not over yet, but I think that what needs to be said here is the Canes don't exactly have a good history in the Superdome. Auburn, on the other hand,
interesting.
Let's smash the Gators in the Superdome. I know that the year before.
Yeah, and I won the national championship in the Super Bowl in '89. I don't know what you're talking about. What are you referencing to, Matt Hayes?
Alabama. That's what I'm referencing.
What about Alabama? Oh, you're talking about...
Yeah, well, when Alabama basically took your entire team to midfield and paddled you.
That was the military fatigues game, right?
No, he's talking about in 92 when Alabama... Well, listen, they held serve because we handed them a boot stomping in 89. So, I mean, what's the difference?
Hold serve. Y'all got
y'all in it. I wasn't in that. I wasn't playing, so I don't know what you're talking about.
All I'm saying is the Canes a little bit iffy in the Superdome.
Oh, okay.
Auburn, that will be a home game for Auburn. There's no doubt that'll be a home game.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that might have to play in at some point.
Yes, it's absolutely factors.
Right now, 10-0.
Was the fatigues game Penn State?
Yeah, Penn State. That was in the Fiesta Bowl. Yes, Penn State.
So let me ask you this then. When they got off the plane in New Orleans, were they wearing fatigues?
No, bro. Those days are
straight business, right?
Straight business. That's what we do.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're one quarter in. We'll get an update here again. We've never had a blowout. Never had defense take control, and right now it's 10-0. So that's interesting. All right, I want to circle back to the draft because I want to talk about Shedeur Sanders, and we spoke with Eric Edholm from NFL Media, NFL.com about this. But I wanted to give you a little intel from Tom Pelissero, who also works with Eric at NFL.com, NFL Media. So Tom reported today that an NFL assistant coach told him about Shedeur Sanders, quote, "The worst formal interview I've ever been in my life. He's so entitled. He takes unnecessary sacks. He never plays on time. He has horrible body language. He blames teammates. But the biggest thing is he's not that good.
I mean, he got all of that from a meeting.
Yeah.
How'd he get that he takes sacks and all that other kind of stuff from a meeting with him?
Well, I think that's from film.
Oh, okay. So did they watch film together?
Yeah, so here's my thing. So the formal interviews, which the Jags declined this year, those 30 interviews you're allowed.
Which I think is a mistake, but go ahead.
I do too. I agree with you on that. I think you get to find this kind of stuff. Are interviews with those who would be directly involved with the player should they sign him, okay? So the Sanders interview that Tom Pelissero is referencing was more than likely with the head coach, the GM, the offensive coordinator, and the quarterback's coach. So by Tom Pelissero saying the quote was from an assistant, more than likely that means it was from one of the 32 offensive coordinators in the league or one of the 32 quarterbacks coaches in the league. So these are guys also that you would think would be most offended by the way he interviews. Like, I think a coach and a GM could say, it's all right. We need different thoughts, or like you say all the time, we need a dog. We need a strong personality. But I think an actual coach, specifically like a quarterback's coach, the guy's gonna have to coach him day after day after day. Mike, if I had to guess, I would say it's from a quarterback's coach in the league, because that sounds like if you let me read it again, okay?
Yeah.
The worst former interview I've ever been in my life. He's so entitled. But then it immediately goes to this. He takes unnecessary sacks. He never plays on time. Has horrible body language. He blames teammates. The biggest thing is he's not that good. That sounds like a quarterback's coach to me is what that sounds like.
Yeah, it probably is a quarterback's coach. And I mean, listen, he's going to offend some people because of his confidence and his bravado. I mean, he's his daddy's son. All right, I'm sure Deion, when he got drafted, he offended a lot of people. He told some people, he mentioned it in a podcast. He told one team that had a 20-something pick that was interviewing him, and he said, "Man, well, you ask me all these questions. Y'all not going to be up there to pick me." Y'all, and he walked out the meeting.
Right.
I mean, now his son is not him. I mean, we see the after effects of it now, but I mean, most these coaches are going to be. If you're offended by his confidence, then don't draft him. That's just my opinion. If you're offended by him believing in himself and the bravado and the confidence and all that kind of stuff, then don't draft him. This is the same thing wasn't the same thing said about Baker Mayfield? Baker Mayfield the same way, cocky, confidence, offended people because he believed in.
Yeah.
So if his confidence offends you, then don't draft him. But he's going to find someone that he can work with, and it's going to draft him. And I think he's going to be okay in the NFL. Do I think he's going to be box office? I don't think it's going to be box office, but I think he'll be a viable commodity to any team that drafts. I mean, listen, if he falls to 21, it'll probably be the best thing to happen to him, to the Steelers, with Mike Tomlin. I just think it would be.
I think that's the best team.
I think it'll be a perfect fit.
So why do you think that's the best team for him?
I think it'll be the best team for him because the culture in Pittsburgh I'm not gonna say he won't be as confident or whatever, but they've got structure and they've got a mold that I want to say put him in check, but I think that he will be surrounded by what's historic to where he has to fall in place. You know what I'm saying? If he goes to a team that doesn't have any, first of all, he's got to respect the coach, which I think he would, and he's got to fall for the culture there in Pittsburgh. Well, in my opinion, will keep him in check in some capacity.
Okay, so here's my question. I don't disagree with what you're saying. This is what I look at with Shedeur is he's almost like this like, wild and free Mustang. It's got to be broken. Not to the point of not to the point of the confidence is bad, the cockiness is bad. Not to that point. I just think you've got a kid now who was 13 and 12 in Colorado is getting his jersey retired,
which is foolishness.
Okay,
foolishness.
You've got a kid who for the last 2 years, the biggest sports production company on the planet has chronicled his every move, along with his dad's. There's no bigger story on ESPN every day than Colorado, Deion, Shedeur, Travis Hunter. When they can do anything on them, it's ratings gold for them. So he's been put on this pedestal, whether he likes it or not, of the do no wrong, of the, I'm cocky, I'm confident because I'm really good. And I think he thinks he's a little better than he is. Now, I will say this. I love the way he plays. He is a tough SOB, man. Mm-hmm. He is a tough dude. I've seen him get hit over and over, and I mean big hits, and get up and keep playing. I love that from him. I love a tough quarterback.
And it doesn't complain.
No, at all. At all. Mm-hmm. And again, this is from Tom Pelissaro, who says he blames his teammates. Maybe he does in interviews. I don't know. But on the field, no, never. Never. Mm-hmm. And he's also a gamer in big moments. So if you're going to tell me that you're going to give me a quarterback who in Colorado has shown just absolute 10 on a scale of 1 to 10 toughness, and a guy that's a gamer in big moments that makes big plays, I'd take a chance on him. I'd pick him in the first round. I wouldn't pick him in the top 5. But if you're going to tell me, would you take him in the first? Yeah. But I'm with you. I think he needs to go to a place. You didn't get, so I'm going to use this word. Tell me if it's the wrong word. When you went into the Steelers, into that organization, you walked through those doors and you saw those trophies. You were humbled, right?
I wouldn't say I was humble because
what's the better word for that?
Well, I believe I wasn't humble, but I was in awe because I mean, I came from Miami where we won championships, but it was different now because I was going to an organization that had Super Bowl championships.
Right.
And as soon as you walk through the lobby, the expectations were elevated because when you walk through those lobby doors, those 4 Lombardis are standing right there. And you understand that when you made that right to go in the locker room, what the expectations were. All right?
Right.
So, I mean, listen, I wasn't listen, when I came from Miami, I wasn't no bravado type of person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was the skill position, defensive. Well, I was a solid assassin. So they didn't have no issue out of me when it came to Pittsburgh.
Right.
All right? Because I had confidence in myself because I had done it at the college level. But I knew that I hadn't proved anything at the professional level that I needed to figure it out so I can get the respect of my teammates by doing that. So, yeah. I mean, yeah.
I'm going to tell you the biggest difference between you and him. No X, no TikTok, no Instagram, no retiring your jersey before you even leave campus.
Well, listen, Miami gave away my jersey the next year I left.
Not only that, how long did it take them to put you in the Hall of Fame?
Forever.
Right. That's kind of my point.
Yeah, I know.
That's kind of my point. All right, we need to go to a break. We're going to come back. We got our doctor in the house, George Barr's here. We're going to get into some NFL draft potential injuries. We also got halftime's quickly coming there in New Orleans in the Superdome for Miami 2001 against Auburn 2010 in the Searcy Sweet 16. 6 teams to go. 1 game to go before the semifinals are set.
Final 4, baby.
Final 4 is set. All right, come on back. It's XLP.
He's big. What kind of monster are you? And he's big on the Jags.
3 times bigger than this.
Mike Dempsey.
What do you think? Well, what do you know?
10 to noon weekdays.
You're a lot smarter than I look.
On 1010XL.
It's Work Zone Awareness Week, Florida. Every year, lives are lost in work zones because of speeding and distractions. When you see orange cones, remember, slow down, follow the signs, and stay focused. Workers are counting on you to get home safely, and so are their families. Let's work together to prevent accidents and save lives. A safety reminder from the Florida Department of Transportation. Slow your roll. Safety's the goal.
MOV, ING, Southside Kia is moving. Our moving sale is on right now. Help us clear new Kias out. Our current selection's got 200 plus Kias on the lot. Hurry to save big with us. New rides starting at just $20,000 bucks. Plus, bring your tax refund today. We'll double it up to $5K. MOV, ING, get to Southside Kia this spring. Online at SouthsideKiaJax.com. Get your next ride at Southside. For complete details, call 904-325-9208.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Get this thing unwrapped here.
Praz. Pross, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right. Dan, I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Daily Dash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, like me. I'm sure there's a Daily Dash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course,
oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it," and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Daily's Dash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Daily's Dash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When mosquitoes show up, they are a buzzkill. You want them out of your yard, and fast. At Terminix, they know that mosquitoes bite, but not for long. They'll provide regular treatments to protect you and your family all season long. Go ahead and schedule that picnic, because when mosquitoes show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a mosquito problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
For your chance to win 4-day weekend VIP passes to the Welcome to Rockville Festival in Daytona Beach, May 15th to the 18th, text the word ROCK to the 1010XL text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010.
Slacker plumbing.
Yeah, hey, listen, I need a plumber over here right now.
Yeah, well, we don't have any openings for about 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yep.
I was just changing the shower head and the water line broke and it's flying everywhere.
All right, 1 week.
What if I throw you an extra $100 to come now?
What's the address?
It's 205.
Oh, I guess he changed his mind.
If you've got a leak that can't wait a week, call Roland Reese Plumbing and fix your plumbing problems fast. PlumbingJacksonville.com.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get Zero Resified and take 25% off all services. Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com and tell them Hicken or 1010XL sent you.
Zero Res.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein & Robbins, fighting for your rights since 1975.
Hey, Hicken here. I want to tell you guys about Lift Power. Lift Power, a Jacksonville-based business, been around for more than 50 years, family-owned and operated, and always on the lookout for good folks, experienced lift truck and dock and door technicians. The benefits out of this world: 401k, company vehicle, paid training, sign-on bonus. Offers so great. Come see why Lift Power has been voted one of the best places to work for the past several years as well. We want you to be a part of the family. Don't let this opportunity slip by. To learn more, all you got to do is go to liftpower.com. Check them out at liftpower.com.
No matter what the reason, sending a floral arrangement from Kuhn Flowers always works. For unique and special gifts, visit their showroom on Beach Boulevard. Dylan Denmark here with 1010XL. Kuhn Flowers is my go-to and should be yours. Online at kuhnflowers.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Our next guest is not affiliated with the NFL or Jacksonville Jaguars.
Discussion of injuries is solely based on opinion.
Now, the Bari Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Injury Breakdown.
I'm coming in hot.
He's our guy, George Bari. And if I know George, who loves college football, he would not mind us to take 30 seconds off his spot to give a quick halftime update of the Searcy Sweet 16 of 0-1 Miami against 2010 Auburn.
Yeah, we're going into halftime. It's 24-13, Miami.
Wow. All right. So Auburn's kind of
They keep it in there. They're hanging tough.
All right. So they kind of got their feet under them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Still 24-13. That's 11-point lead halftime.
Yeah.
I feel her out. All right. If you got a question for our doctor, Dr. George Bari Orthopedics, give him a shout out on the text line, 641-1010. Brought to you by our good friends at Lifetime Enclosures. George, how are you, man?
Good, man. What's going on,
good?
guys?
What's new?
Nothing much. Hanging out. Finished clinic.
You excited about the draft?
Yeah. We'll see. Someone asked me today. I said, we'll see who we pick in the first round that won't be here in the next 2 years later.
Are you okay with, what if they pick Jeanty? You okay with Jeanty?
I just want somebody who's going to be here for a while and be an impact, because I think we've had a bunch of first-round picks that have not turned out great.
You can call him bust. This is bust day.
So we'll see. I don't care who it is, as long as he's a good player.
The thing is with Jeanty, and we haven't really talked about this, but odds on, he's not going to be here for a second contract. Saquon Barkley wasn't with the Giants for a second contract.
Yeah.
So it's rare that it happens with a running back, but we can get into that later. All right, so the draft, we've talked about Will Johnson, the Michigan corner, who, when healthy, probably could have been a top 5 pick, top 7 pick. Excuse me. And it's been, we were told anyway, turf toe.
Yes.
You know, the ligaments in the toe. Well, now, I was reporting that it might be a knee.
Yeah.
And that there's concern about his long-term status with a knee injury.
I mean, that's a big departure, right? So I don't know. At this point, I think everyone's at a loss, unless this knee is a new injury,
right?
That wasn't discussed. So, but I don't know. I mean, we went from his toe was hurting to his knee,
which is again what we were told,
right? And now he has a knee problem. I mean, they're both very vague. I couldn't tell you what's wrong with his knee or what it is, and they don't even give us the symptoms. So, you know, we're in the unknown, and it can't really mention, you know, what his prospect is and potentially what can happen. But it's just interesting that they go from a toe to a knee. They're hiding something. Something's going on, and someone has, you know, I'm sure someone's going to try to figure it out.
It's just, it's weird to me that during the season, it was always a, quote, lower body injury.
Yeah.
And then it came out that it was his toe while he had taken time off after he was shut down. And now it's the knee.
Yeah.
And something about me thinks that it might have just been knee all along.
Right, because I think when you hear knee injury, you always think worse than a toe injury, right?
And you always think nine months.
When I hear knee and I hear toe, I think automatically say, oh, it's a toe, no big deal, right? Maybe that's what probably
Right.
all think. Then when you hear knee, well, what is it, right? Is it a meniscus that's going to flip back and forth and he can't run? Is it a sprained ACL? Is it MCL that maybe it's not healing? You know, so you start having all these different thoughts. And so it could be they see this guy limping and they say, oh, yeah, it's his foot, don't worry about it. You know,
sometimes, George, and explains to everybody, I know we're kind of getting off on it, but sometimes the ACL is the easier injury. It's just cut and dry, right?
Well, I mean, so if the ACL is torn, it's fixed.
Right.
That's it, right? I mean, you're not fixed, you're reconstructed. Okay? I mean, you know what the timeline is. You know, and then sometimes you have an MCL, like a grade 3 MCL, and then you can argue back and forth whether you fix it or not. And if you don't fix it, then you wait 2-3 months. And then if it's not better, then you have to fix it. Now you're out the 3 months plus surgery plus rehab.
So you're out 8 again, yeah.
And then you have a meniscus repair that you can fix it. And there is about, like a 10% failure rate with them. And then you're in rehab and 4 months later it pops again and it didn't heal. And now you got to have surgery again. So there's some variables with the other ones. I mean, the ACL has a variable, right? There's always a risk of re-tear. We discussed this. But, I mean, it just, I guess, depends on what the injury is.
All right, if you got a question for our doc, 641-1010 on the text line. I'll answer a couple here, and the ones we don't answer, Doc will get with Joe C. on the wildly popular and award-winning podcast, Breaking Bones.
We'll start. Well, we had a pause on that, so we'll start that when the season starts back up.
All right, so another strange injury that I saw in within the NFL draft. A guy that's a very talented player, Deion Walker, a interior defensive lineman from Kentucky, a guy that could be a true one technique guy, big dude, big space eater, a guy I could see the Jags picking actually. He was found to have a stress fracture in his back, likely I'm not even going to try and pronounce this, George, so do it.
Yeah, so it's a spondylolysis.
Spondylolysis fracture.
Yeah, those are the fun words: spondylosis, spondylolysis,
so
spondylolisthesis.
That's like a Seinfeld episode, right? All right, so during combine medical evals, this was found.
Yeah. So this is common in people. So it's common in football players mostly of all sports. It's common in extension sports like gymnastics also. there's actually one study showed that possibly up to 60% of NFL linemen have a spondylolysis. And it's a stress fracture in the spine. You don't really do much for it. It's observation. If it bothers you enough, you have to stop playing until it gets better. The problem becomes if it's unstable.
Right.
And then you have slippage of your vertebra. Then...
That doesn't sound good, George.
No, it doesn't. But that's not very common. All right? It's not very common. So normally you see this, you play to however it feels like. If it doesn't hurt you, you're fine. If it hurts you, back off and rest. Rarely does it ever get to surgery. And it can sometimes if you're unstable, but it's not a very common thing, but it can happen. And the fact that, there's a study showing up to 60%, and there's other studies that they're not that high, but they show a very good, more than a quarter of the NFL people have it. So it's not an uncommon thing. I guess the question becomes, was it just found by accident, right? Or was he complaining of back pain at some point and they got X-ray and they found it? So I don't think it's that big of a deal unless he has symptoms, right? If you have a lot of people with it and they have no issue, then it's not something that you're going to worry about a lot unless you're symptomatic.
So, and you said it's more genetic than it is the pounding of the game.
No, it is. You're not born with it, right? It's from hyperextension, usually from hyperextension all the time, right?
But it's an elongated period of time.
Yeah, so it's over time and it happens.
So if you're an offensive lineman from, middle school, this is how it works.
And you get it. So we'll get high school kids with back pain and they'll have it. Gymnastics, girls come to gymnastics and they'll have it. As long as it doesn't hurt you, you're fine.
All right. Question from the text line, Doc. Does the doctor do anterior or posterior hip replacements?
I don't do it. There's a couple of guys in our practice that do, and one does anterior, one does posterior. You can argue either way. They both have their pros and cons, and I think it's whatever the doctor is comfortable with does. You can sit and debate which one you want to do, and if you need a hip replacement and you want to do anterior, go to one who does anterior, right? If you don't care, then go to anybody who does whichever way is comfortable for them. But there's pros and cons for each one.
All right, one more. Doc, I had ACL and meniscus reconstruction surgery last May. How do I know when it's safe to play competitive basketball again?
Yeah, there's a return to play testing you can do.
Wow, really?
And you would go to the therapist, and there's a bunch of exercises that you can do. And the goal is your surgical leg has to have 90% of the strength of your non-surgical leg. Once you hit that 90% mark, then the study showed the risk of re-tear becomes lower. If you go back to play before you hit that 90%, you do have it doesn't mean you can't play,
right?
But you do have a higher risk of re-tear. So it's called a return to play protocol that you can do with your therapist. They'll do like a hop test and a bunch of stuff to kind of see how well you do compared to the opposite leg.
Okay, so then he or she should go to their therapist and say, can I get a return to play test?
Yeah, I don't know if they have it straight up or they need a referral from a physician. I'm not sure, but I mean, if you're close to a therapist, you could definitely ask them, and they may tell you, yeah, we can do it, or they may tell you, go get your doctor to do it. But you should be cleared at least by your doctor. The way we do it is if I do the surgery, I give you at the end, 8, 9, 10 months when you get to the point where you're doing well, I give you the return to play protocol. You go to your therapist. They come back with the results. I look at it, say A-okay, and then sign off.
All right, awesome. Thank you, man. Hey, I was going to say, when's the next Breaking Bones, but you're
summertime
on hiatus?
Yeah, till the season starts.
Is that your call or Joe's call?
I don't know. It was mine. I was so busy, man. There's so many things and just,
all right.
More things on the plate. It's tough.
All right, brilliant. He's our doctor, Dr. George Barry. Give him a call for all things orthopedic. Thanks, brother.
Thanks, man.
All right. Leon?
Yep.
We need to go to a break. Before we go to a break, you got an update?
I do. I got an update. End of the third quarter. Start of the fourth. Miami 33, Auburn 27.
6 points?
6 points.
JJ, every time now, it's a touchdown and a missed extra point or
it's
a missed
never
touchdown
like
and field goals.
A 7-point game going to overtime. There's always some.
Right. We are always headed to 1 point shy every time. This is like very predictable, this Sweet 16. Not that it's bad. It's just, I like it. All right, we're going to come back. We'll finish this up and talk a little more draft. It's XLP.
The Frenzy Show will recap the Jags draft picks live at Mr. Chubby's Wings Friday from 4 to 6. Join us for 2-for-1 pints and pitchers or $3 wines and wells this Friday at Mr. Chubby's in Ponte Vedra.
When you step into a courtroom, you're stepping into a fight. Someone wins, someone loses. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we've got the experience you want in your corner if you or a loved one suffer a personal injury or a wrongful death. We're here to fight for you. So if you get hit, hit back with Hastings Injury Law, offices Jacksonville. Find us on the web at 904hitback.com or call our 24-hour helpline, 904-HITBACK.
Frank Frangie here. Available now is the all-new Silverado EV. Designed to go the distance, the Silverado EV boasts 440 miles of range, more standard range than any competitor. Ask about low-rate financing and $7,500 instant cash savings on EVs. Nimnik always will give you top dollar for your trade, and for a limited time, up to an additional $3,000 in trade assistance. So head to Nimnik today. Who's got more new Silverados at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnik. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
David Lane here, and once again, I'm happy to share news of my success with back and knee surgeries at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Whatever it is that's bothering you, take it from me. Simply set an appointment today at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and let them help you get back to normal life. I'm certainly glad I did.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Tired of seeing the signs of aging? Spring is here, a time to renew. I'm Dr. Mark Capel, a board-certified dermatologist here to help you look and feel your best with minimal to no downtime. Rejuvenate your skin, strengthen your core, and sculpt your body with advanced face and body treatments designed to restore your youthful glow and confidence. Just in time for spring and summer. A healthier, more fit you starts now. Visit dermagnify.com and step into spring looking and feeling your best.
It's here, Diamonds Direct's annual spring sale. Take an extra 20% off our already renowned prices. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off your purchase. That's 20% off plus $100 off store-wide. Explore an expanded selection of trending engagement ring settings, his and hers wedding bands, must-have fine jewelry, and more. But hurry, this limited-time sale ends April 27th, and we're even open this Sunday. Don't miss out. Visit DiamondsDirect.com for details.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On April 23rd, 2020, at the NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Louisiana State quarterback Heisman Trophy winner Joe Burrow with the first overall pick.
It's Work Zone Awareness Week, Florida. Every year, lives are lost in work zones because of speeding and distractions. When you see orange cones, remember, slow down, follow the signs, and stay focused. Workers are counting on you to get home safely, and so are their families. Let's work together to prevent accidents and save lives. A safety reminder from the Florida Department of Transportation. Slow your roll. Safety's the goal.
All right, gentlemen, we've trained for this. We've battled the elements. But if there's one thing we can't afford, it's letting the heat take us out before the big game.
But coach, the AC at my house is busted. I barely got any sleep last night.
Well, Johnson, you should have called Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. They're the real MVPs. Now let's cue the cool music.
Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. The coolest cats in town.
Hey Jacksonville, Lauren here for Big Chief Tire. Tax season is the perfect time to invest in your vehicle. Use your refund to tackle overdue tire replacements, brake repairs, or routine maintenance. Big Chief Tire's skilled technicians ensure every dollar counts, keeping your car running strong. With 5 convenient locations around town, fair prices, and trusted expertise, they've got you covered. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule an appointment today. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes here with a challenge. A challenge might not be the best choice in words, so let's say an opportunity. Take the opportunity to lose 40 by the 4th with Awaken 180. It sounds a little different when you put a real goal to it, doesn't it? Maybe you looked at the scale this morning and it read 230 pounds. How about a reading 190 by the 4th? Maybe the scale says 300. Wouldn't the number 260 be a little nicer on your eyes and on your joints? It's attainable if you have the same results we all had with Awaken 180. I dropped 40 pounds in 9 weeks. Hacker dropped his first 40 in just 6 weeks. Dempsey, Blue, and everyone else I know, same results. And we've kept it off. The best thing about Awaken 180 weight loss, it will completely change the way you think, see, and feel about food. The results are real, attainable, and the process Simple with Awaken 180. Take the opportunity and drop 40 by the 4th. It all starts with just one call to Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Call 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and Triumph has been a legend on-road. They've branched out to their off-road division as well. Give us the latest on what you can find on the asphalt.
They've got some great new products. They've got the Scrambler 400s you can get into for a little less than you might think. It's a great price point bike, but still a Triumph.
So affordability is also part of the equation.
It is, and it looks good, and it rides good.
Cyclesofjacksonville.com, or check them out on their Facebook page, the showroom ready and waiting for you on Atlantic near Regency at Cycles of Jacksonville.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, my takeaway is Ashton Genty. Genty, I call him Gently.
Yeah, you've been calling him that for like a month.
Genty.
Yeah, I know his name, Ashton Genty.
You're calling him Gently on purpose.
No, I'm not. Listen. I'm not sure how I feel about the pick, but listen, if you pick him 5 tomorrow overall, and you give me guard, I'm good. That's the whole thing. I've been saying this for the last couple of years. The best friend for Trevor Lawrence would be a run game. And if you're committing to Ashton Genty as a running back, that means that ATN probably is trade bait today or tomorrow during the draft, right?
Somewhere. He's clearly the one to go. I don't think you're going to trade Tank Bigsby.
No, you're not going to trade Tank, but you can probably get something for ATN. But
you're not bringing all three of them to camp.
No, you're not. One of them's
got to go if you draft Jeanty.
Yeah, one of them's got to go. So, listen, I don't have a problem with that. Or this could be a maneuver by the Jaguars to get more capital, and I don't have a problem with that either. Because you would get nothing on Mason Graham.
Right.
But you say you want Ashton Genty. Now you've got all these partakers.
Now you're cooking with oil, baby.
Yeah, so either way, I'll be good. If we take them and we move forward with the offensive line, I'm good. If we don't take them and get more draft capital, I'm good with that as well.
Yeah, my takeaway is I'm just like fired up to see what this is, what they're trying to fashion here. And I doubt that I would be disappointed in any pick, honestly. I mean, they could probably pick Tyler Warren, and I'd say, all right, I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that's another weapon for him. They could pick Ted McMillan, and I'd say, all right, I could see that's another weapon. Again, if they follow with guard, or guard tackle, whatever. If they follow with offensive linemen, big guys, I'm okay with that. I can't imagine a pick where I'd go, that's a terrible pick. But we've seen it before. Unfortunately.
What if they take the safety out of South Carolina?
Well, then I'd be upset, obviously.
Okay.
But
I was trying to find the guy that you said you'll be good.
Unless they just do something really crazy and take a guy that they could get at 25 overall, I can't imagine the next day where I'd be like, yeah, not going to happen. It's almost dummy proof, almost, this pick. And it could be it could be a lot better.
Trevor was dummy proof.
That's true. And right now we're in year 5, and guess what? There's still some dummy.
There's some dummy. Yeah, exactly.
You could trade back from 5 if there's any way you could get enough extra picks to move back into the first and get the 12th and the 26th, and you get
Zabel.
Yeah, and you get Gray Zabel at 26, and at 12 you pick up somehow Ted McMillan falls to 12. I mean, that's fantastic. You do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's in the words of Hacker, you're talking dirty to me, and I kind of like it. That's the real deal. So if they pulled off something like that, that'd be terrific. And again, it's all about the idea of after this weekend, we are going to know what they think of this roster, what they think the weaknesses are, what they think the strengths are. And you're going to know by looking at who they drafted. There's no doubt about that. All right, Leon?
No, we got a final score, yeah.
We got a final score?
That's it. Final score. No. Well, Auburn had the ball late. Down 6 with 2 minutes to go.
Right.
Cam Newton, pick 6, Ed Reed.
Oh! And they covered the spread? Wow.
And they covered with the pick 6. Final score?
Final score is 40-27.
Wow.
You guys did, you should be commended for that, though. for playing that hard, Auburn.
So 33-27, they're driving. Cam throws a pick six. How deep into Miami's territory were they?
They were inside the 30.
Oh my goodness.
Man.
With a chance to win.
That's got to hurt.
Yeah.
That has got to hurt.
But hey, listen, you got to give it to Cam. He rallied them back.
He did. They were down 10 initially, 11 at halftime. He rallied them back. That's what the great ones do, Leon.
They do, the great ones.
All right,
got to pay homage to them.
So the semifinals are set.
Semifinals were set. Took us forever to get to this point. We got the 2001 Miami Hurricanes versus the 2019 LSU Tigers.
All right, before you get to the other one, game, 2001 Canes against the 2019 LSU Bayou Bengals.
That's the first matchup.
Do we have any early leans in that one? Do you have a line in that one?
Not yet. The lines will be out tomorrow.
No line.
No line.
There's no futures,
future
stock market futures. There's
okay,
no,
future line 2.5. Canes.
Canes at 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
all right. And the second game is the 2013 FSU Florida State Seminoles versus the 2008 Florida Gators.
Yeah.
So there's your Final Four.
You got an early futures line on that one?
Futures line on that? Gators by 1.
Ooh, I was going to say pick. That's pretty good. All right. So where are these games being played, by the way?
Well, we got one that's going to be played in Arizona.
Okay. Which one's that? That's the Miami.
That's the Miami LSU game.
Okay.
And the other one's going to be played at the Rose Bowl.
Wow. The Rose Bowl. The Noles and the Gators in the Rose Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Will they fill it up there? I mean, do you think they even care?
It is a sweet.
You think they care in Pasadena about Florida State?
It is the Final Four.
Both teams travel well.
They do travel well.
Yeah.
For a game like that.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm looking at those 4 teams. There's one team of the 4 that really isn't a complete team. Yet we constantly say they could beat anyone.
LSU.
Yeah. That LSU defense was
It was iffy.
It's just the fact that offense was
so dang good.
I mean, listen, Joe Burrow he's doing the same thing he did in college. I mean, Joe Burrow at Cincinnati their defense was atrocious last year.
Yeah, true. That's very true, actually.
And he still got them within one game of making the playoffs.
That Miami secondary is pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I mean, Chase and Jefferson, they're gonna have problems.
They got problems. They got Rump, they got Buchanan, they got Ed Reed on the back end.
Canes can get a little pass rush too. I'm not worried about Joe because Joe Cool is like the toughest quarterback going.
He is.
Like he's like 5 times what Shedeur Sanders is, and I think Shedeur Sanders is a really tough guy.
Mm-hmm.
The other game, 2013 Noles, and the man, that is a game. Holy cow!
Mm-hmm.
You've got 2 just dynamic quarterbacks that can carry teams. You've got 2 fast, athletic defenses. Wow. You got one just great man on one sideline as head coach and one turd on the other, but a great coach. That's some good stuff there, man.
Okay. And which one you calling the turd?
Well, certainly not Bobby Bowden.
Well, Bobby's not. This is.
Oh, right. That's Jimbo. That's right. That's
Jimbo. What I wanted to ask you.
Right. What am I thinking?
Which one you calling the turd?
Right. Well, then it's turd versus turd.
Oh.
Although I don't mind Jimbo. Jimbo's all right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind Jimbo.
Yeah.
Still, great game.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Both of them. Wow. Ooh, that'll be fun. All right, so we didn't even get into the 1010XL media draft, which, oh, by the way, had ESPN's Michael Duraco, friend of 1010XL, on a lot of our programs.
Mm-hmm.
He's now gone twice in a row now. He did his ESPN mock draft selection, and he chose Ashton Genty then at 5. This draft show, 5 pick rolls around, Ashton Genty. Now, let's be very clear here. In his picks on ESPN, I believe this is right. Check me if I'm wrong, JJ. I believe it's right. They didn't do any trading back in those picks. I think they just did it like the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Same way 1010XL does it. So in the same way the 1010XL draft is, there's no trade backs. So you got to pick somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But still, he could have picked any number of people. Running back isn't really a priority for this team.
Are you talking about Schrager's
No, I'm talking about the 10-10 XL draft.
Oh, or about the trade. Yeah, there was no 10-10 or trades in this one.
Yeah. So Duraco could have picked someone else. He didn't have to pick Ashton Genty.
Mm-hmm.
So he either has some intel that he believes they're definitely interested in this cat, or it's just, well, he's there and he's the best guy, and I'm gonna pick him. And
or that's just what everyone's saying.
Right. That's just what everyone's saying, and that's what
the betting odds are saying it.
Right.
I wouldn't take this as Duraco knows something that everybody else doesn't.
I would honestly, I don't think Duraco's going to say something unless he's not that that's going to be the pick, just that he's heard they're interested in him. He's one of the 2 or 3 guys they're zeroing in on. That's what I mean by that. So I wouldn't doubt that at all. What are the betting lines with Jeanty, JJ?
I'll look right now, but as of yesterday, he was like a minus 120. So you are not even making, you have to pay 120 to make 100.
So think of this, as far as if you, we got issues
to
all
the
across.
Jags,
We got
right?
issues.
What I'm saying.
Well, to be the
top
number 5 pick, not necessarily to the Jags. Yeah, so Jeanty right now is minus 200 for the 5th overall pick. So you have to pay 200 to make 100.
So,
and the second best odds, are Mason Graham at plus 215.
So if you were to rank them as far as concerns on this team, where would you rank running back?
Oh, way down the list. Way down. I'd put offensive line ahead. I'd put
D-line.
I'd put receiver. I'd put corner. I'd put safety. Yeah, no doubt. But to JJ's point, and I think this is kind of the thing, and we'll talk to the Embedded and Shredded about this, is it's the pick. The betting lines are the pick is he's going to go at 5.
Not to the Jags.
Which could mean it's either going to be the Jags or they're trading out of that spot. And someone's trading up to get him, which, again, in that sense, I think that's great, especially if you can get like 12 and 28, and Gray Zabel's still there at 28, and you get a good pick at 12. And, yeah, here's a good pick right here.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
All right, Hayes Carline's here. Carline, I'm throwing out this scenario for you, okay?
Okay.
The trade is trading back. They're getting out of 5. And they end up with, let's say Ted McMillan falls to like 11, where they trade up to a 12. Okay. They get Ted McMillan, and they get Gray Zabel at like 28 because they traded back in with multiple picks. Would you be happy with that?
Yeah, it'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that'd be an excellent scenario. The best case for them tomorrow night is a trade back and then a trade back in. Will they be able to swing that? I think it's going to be highly unlikely for reasons that we've discussed. I just don't think there's anybody worthy of trading 2-5 and giving up draft capital. I mean, none of these teams have an embarrassment of draft riches,
right?
And so I just don't think you're going to see it. I think they're going to have to make the pick at 5. But in that scenario, absolutely, you'd get they're craving a receiver. I mean, we've talked about it. If Brian Thomas Jr., if something were to happen to him, in my opinion, it's an expansion level group of receivers behind him.
Right.
So you've got to protect yourself, in that event. And they need help anyway. But I mean, it gets catastrophic if you lose BTJ.
That's actually a great point. It is an expansion level group of receivers.
Without a doubt. And I mean, I think the Toronto Argonauts would have a better receiving core. And so, I mean, in looking at it, to get Ted McMillan, I think he's the perfect complement to BTJ. And then, to get Zabel, a versatile lineman that, probably can step right in at left guard. Yeah, I think that would make a ton of sense if they're able to do it. But I really would caution. I think they're going to be there at 5. I don't think they're going to be able to move, and I think they're going to have to pick at 5.
So then if you think they have to pick at 5, then just take Ted then. If you really think you need a receiver.
I would take Ted over Jeanty for sure in that scenario. I think ideally they're going to take an offensive tackle.
Right.
I just don't think you can say we're at ground zero. We're building this thing, we're trying to set the dish for Trevor. You can look at what they've done as an offensive line over the last 2 or 3 years, and how have they gotten any better? I mean, you've lost Mitch Morse and replaced him with Robert Hainsey. That's not an upgrade. You've lost Brandon Sheriff, and you've replaced him with Patrick McCarry, which is probably a slight upgrade, but I don't think it's a
just for
massive upgrade. Right. And so what have you really done? And then the 2 offensive tackles you signed are on a
tenant salary.
Yeah.
I mean, so they've been reserve players. Every other team wasn't willing to give them starter money when they were free agents.
Right.
So how good can they possibly be for you?
Right.
I just think I will say this. If it's Ashton Genty, I hope he's fantastic. But for me, it would look like amateur hour in that building with a 34-year-old GM and a new first-time head coach. If they take a running back at 5 after winning 4 games last season, it is amateur hour. In my opinion.
Even if they follow it in the second and 2/3 with offensive linemen?
Yeah, because you just don't. First off, you have Etienne and Bigsby, and it's deep at running back. Take one in the 4th round.
Right.
I mean, I just don't. I don't understand why, when your trenches are so poor, I mean, that you would say, let's take a running back at 5. It's a complete luxury pick. And so we'll see what they end up doing. I mean, I'll say this, and they'll pick Jeanty, and he'll be the next Walter Payton. But in my opinion, from a roster
you'll be writing
build,
his book.
Yeah, right. But from a roster build standpoint, I think it would be a amateur pick.
All right, what do we got on Frangie Show coming up?
All that coming up. We'll certainly break down the media mock draft. Hats off to Jags today and Helmets and Heels. That was a lot of fun to listen to. And you know what I'm always interested with that, not just the guys that, which teams take, but who are the guys that weren't selected? Because that's going to be a big storyline for the Jaguars is, when you're sitting there at 36, that once we get done Thursday night, the first thing everybody's going to look at is, okay, who's the top 10 players that are still available? Because there's going to be some ridiculous amount of talent available. So it'll be fun kind of going through that and who didn't get picked that might make sense for the Jaguars in the second round.
All right, all that's coming up. Frangie Show, we got Baloo after that, Hacker after that. We are 1 day away. The draft is almost here, everyone. For Leon, for Joe C. off of his PJ Tour duties, JJ, great job. We'll see you guys tomorrow. It's draft day tomorrow.